Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Hey, it's Sterling K. Brown from the Hulu original series Paradise. The next chapter begins as Xavier's search for his wife takes him above ground, and what he finds will change everything. It was never just about the bunker. Tune in and discover the truth lies outside. Paradise, the official podcast, is now streaming, and stream Paradise on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Give it up, Mike Pompeo. You used to be cool. Now you're just this weirdo skinny guy. What happened to him? Lost his mojo. Can't say he's MAGA. You know who's still lurking around? Mike Pence. Mike Pence.
I'm a Christian, an American, a husband, and a father, in that order.
Yeah, but are you MAGA, Mike?
I'm a Christian, an American, a father, and a son, and
But are you MAGA?
I'm very proud of the work we did in the Trump-Pence administration.
I can't stand that guy. He's back. He's back. I don't know what the hell he's doing. I get the man's got to earn a living. Then again, does he? You know the kind of pension these guys get? He was in Congress for a long time, plus the vice presidential pension, and this, that, and the other thing. These guys work it so good. And when you're in Congress, you get to, do the stuff that Gordon Gekko got arrested for in Wall Street. Insider trading. They're allowed to do it. How is that? It's something else, isn't it? Amid all this very serious war stuff, and it is very, very serious, I want to take a quick break. I did this as a little kid, and my kid is doing it now that she's a little kid. My 4-year-old Madeline, copying everything I say. I got to be very careful when I'm around her. You can't say the wrong thing, otherwise it's going to be read right back to you. Go ahead.
Hey, you. What are you doing over there?
What are you doing there?
Hello?
Hello?
Don't copy me.
Don't copy me.
Please don't copy me.
Please don't copy me.
Uh-oh. Mommy wants us in the kitchen. Should we go?
Yes. Uh-oh. Mommy wants us in the kitchen. Can we go? Yes.
You're copying me.
You're copying me.
Would you please stop copying me?
Will you please stop copying me?
I am a dodo bird.
I am a dodo bird.
Is that beautiful?
I love you.
I love you. I got jam on toast. 3D, I got jam on toast.
Oh boy, that sounds like a good breakfast.
Oh boy, that sounds like a good breakfast.
All right. Is that the most adorable thing in the world, huh? Is that the most adorable thing in the world? Now, the other one, who's 6, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. It's very difficult. Very difficult to get her dressed in the morning, to get her out. You know, she's has something to say about everything. What she's wearing, it's too tight, it's too loose, I don't like it, it's not going to. Uh-oh. Hey, quick update. I've been avoiding this case because, well, but mystery behind Nancy Guthrie glove is solved as DNA is finally matched. Authorities revealed mystery DNA on one of the gloves discovered near Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home finally has a match to an employee who works at a restaurant across the street. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay, a glove in the neighborhood belonged to somebody in the neighborhood. All right, so that ain't going to help us. That's not going to get us any closer, right? I feel for her. I think they should have put that $1 million bounty. You know who's getting a hard time? The CEO of the Ring company, Ring.com. So Ring.com is the doorbell company, and they have a camera, and he's saying, look, if she had more cameras, we would have solved this case. They could have solved this case a long time ago. Oh, boy. Now it's like, okay, what's up with this guy? Does he just want to sell cameras? Is that what he wants to do? It's a little bit, maybe you shouldn't have said anything, right? Maybe you just should have. It's interesting. Somebody said today, the F-35 fighter, I know all about it. I also know it's not nearly as maneuverable as it should be. The F-35 is doing fine, but it only has one engine. And having flown a jet with one engine, I'm telling you, two is better. The F-18 has two. Its replacement has one. When you're flying on an airplane, you have two engines, right? When you go on JetBlue, don't our fighting men and women deserve two engines? Because if one engine breaks, you got the other engine. Well, we have a new airplane, the F-35, the Joint Strike Fighter, which cost a ridiculous amount of money, something like $1 trillion, which is insane. Cost overruns, and you know how these things work. They try to make it so every congressional district has a little factory in it that makes one of the components, right? This makes the wire that goes from the landing gear to the other landing gear. Oh, boy. Stuff like that. Silly stuff like that. Anyway, I don't like that plane. I know it shot down a plane in Israel. That's great. But I don't know if that cuts it. I don't know if that, quite frankly, any plane could have shot down that plane, most likely. Lots of planes could have done that. An F-18, a 40-year-old F-18 could have done it. All right, I want to check in on how's our girl Kristi Noem doing down there, Carlos? It's a little bit rough on her as the head of Homeland Security because she wants to have it all. And by that I mean I think she wants to have a lover and she wants to have the big job. And I think that's a problem. I don't think they go together. She's fooling around with Corey Lewandowski. And she seems to pay more attention to her appearance than pretty much anything else. So if you don't mind, I'd like to fire up this sequence. And look, I hate going against one of our own. But I feel like she's in it for the wrong reasons. She's in it for the power and the perks, not the drudgery of doing the job. You ready? All right, go ahead. Here she is on Capitol Hill.
In particular, I want to discuss the department's $220 million ad campaign. This is the ad campaign that featured you at Mount Rushmore. You're familiar with this ad campaign, correct?
I am familiar with it. It was an ad campaign that was...
I'm going to ask you some questions about it, Madam Secretary. So, okay. As I understand it, this is a $220 million ad campaign. It's split between two contractors. One of those contractors got $143 million. That contractor is called Safe America Media, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That company is affiliated with a former political director of the National Republican Congressional Committee. Now, yesterday, you testified, I think I'm quoting you right, you said, quote, or in reference to this contract, that, quote, it went out to a competitive bid. Mm-hmm. Do you stand by that statement?
It was a no-bid contract where two vendors were
It was a no-bid
chosen.
contract.
If it would have been a no-bid contract, if I'm using that correctly, it goes out to two different vendors.
Correct. So it was not a competitive. Let me try to explain what the discrepancy, because a competitive bid is very different than a no competitive bid. And I'll just explain why. We know that your testimony yesterday, when you said, again, I'll quote, it went out to a competitive bid, is untrue. The reason we know it's untrue is because under federal law, your agency is required, whenever the agency decides to skip competitive bidding, to file a notice with the public explaining why. And in this case, right, your agency filed a notice.
Right.
You're aware of that, right? justification and approval for other than full and open competition. Your agency made a decision not to proceed with competitive bidding, and one of the contractors that got the award was this Safe America Media Company that received $143 million.
Many
right?
vendors got the chance to look at that contract and to participate in it.
So
that is why the two of them were
that's
chosen.
Inaccurate, Madam Secretary. I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. Mm-hmm. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States. You identified 4. Mm-hmm. One of those is this Safe America Media Company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. Mm-hmm. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll tell you about it.
According to
Madam
law,
Secretary, the
address
is registered to a political operative. Madam Secretary, the company, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered apparently or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota.
Well, it sounds not so good. However, I could see a situation where you have 4 or 5 political pros, right, and say, we can offer these services. It's not supposed to go that way, though. Now, how is this allowed to go on? Because I know there are people at the White House who do not like this situation, who do not like Kristi Noem, and who do not like Corey Lewandowski. But one of them, the president, actually, he's not in that group. The president of the United States. Now, one of the smartest and most well-informed people I know is Mark Halperin. He does that daily show, the morning meeting. He also has the nightly show, and he's at the Sirius show. He's all over the place. Mark Halperin, bigger and better than ever. His assessment on the Corey Lewandowski situation. Corey, I do know, was basically the first campaign consultant President Trump hired all the way back in 2015, like before he declared for president. Corey Lewandowski knows New Hampshire. He was the basically the first or second hire, third hire, something like that. Mark Halperin on the Corey Lewandowski, Kristi Noem situation. Go.
Big Wall Street Journal story. Enemies of Secretary Noem and Corey Lewandowski, her shadow chief of staff. One more try to get Trump to fire them. With a big Wall Street Journal story with lots of anecdotes and accusations, almost all denied, but not all denied, by a spokesperson for Kristi Noem about how they run the department and how they, allegedly take retribution on people and take credit for things they don't deserve. And Corey wanted a gun and a badge. All these stories. Some of them they'll all be familiar to anyone who's followed the soap opera. Kevin, will this lead to the defenestration of Secretary Noem or Corey? Yes or no?
No.
Larry.
Corey's a problem, and I think that I had already predicted that by mid-year, sometime in the summer, I think that she will have a graceful exit.
So you think she'll be gone
because of Corey? Okay. You think, Larry?
June or July? Well, Corey's a big part of the problem.
It's package deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll believe when I see
Mark,
it.
Mark, real quick, what's Corey's relationship to the president these days? Do we have any insights on that?
Thick as thieves. I mean,
okay. I mean, they're old school. He's an old school. He's an original.
He wouldn't be president without Corey. Corey called me in like early spring of 2015. And he's like, would you please meet with me? Would you please take Trump seriously as a presidential candidate? And I said, I'm happy to meet with you. I already take Trump seriously as a presidential candidate. You should be talking to other people because you got no problem with me in terms of taking him seriously. And Trump knows that if it weren't for what Corey did, he wouldn't be president. So there's a lot of loyalty there.
That goes a long way.
Mark,
goes a long way.
But is that a sort of direct backdoor thick as thieves relationship? I mean, he doesn't come through the front door right now on his own and meet in the Oval Office with the president, does he? Do you think?
I mean, there's two ways in there. There's the front door and the back door. I mean, I don't know. You know, they demanded a meeting. They had a very friendly 2-hour meeting with the president.
Kind of a gab fest is what you
the night
that was free flowing.
Well, it's interesting, though. Sometimes the guys who get you elected aren't the guys who can help you govern. And this is a classic quandary for presidents. The guys who made it possible for you to be president could make it very difficult for you to actually do the job of president, right? So that might be Corey. In fact, I know it is, and actually I'm a little bit skeptical if Corey Lewandowski did not exist, that President Trump would not be president. I tend to doubt it. We shall return.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Greg Kelly on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, hello, welcome. We're back. Anti-ICE activists accused of new fraud in Minnesota. That woman looks just like. I can't stop reading about this mayor of the small town in Louisiana who hooked up with a 16-year-old kid and now is on trial for statutory something or other, right? Statutory rape. For whatever reason, when it happens like that, people click. When it happens on the other side, it is disgusting and wrong. And I mean horrible. Especially, girls, it's totally different. It's totally different. We understand that. Now, there's a guy, I think this is incredible. He's running for sheriff, and he just won an election in Arkansas. He's accused of killing the man who raped his daughter. And he just won the Republican primary for county sheriff in central Arkansas. His name is Aaron Spencer. Check this out, shall we? It's one hell of a story in my book. Aaron Spencer. Oh, my gosh. I mean, let's go through this. In 2024, Spencer allegedly woke up to find his 14-year-old daughter missing from her bed. Spencer searched the neighborhood and found his daughter in a car with 67-year-old Michael Fossler. He then chased the car down and drove it off the road before shooting and killing Fossler. Fossler was facing over 40 child sex crime charges involving Spencer's daughter when he was shot. Oh, my God. This is, I don't know, victory here. Look at this guy. Listen to him. Go ahead. This is the good guy.
Hello, Lone Oak. My name is Aaron Spencer. Many of you know my story. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. I'm also a husband, a combat veteran of the 82nd Airborne Division, a contractor, and a farmer. And through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court. And I refuse to stand by while others face these same failures. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff. This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family who deserves to feel safe in their homes and safe in their community. It's about restoring trust, where neighbors know law enforcement is on their side, and families know that they will not be left alone in a moment of need. Together, we can build a safer, stronger Lonoke County for every family. Hey. I'm Aaron Spencer, and I'm running for sheriff of Lonoke County.
Damn. If I lived there, man, I'd be voting for Aaron Spencer. The guy knows how to do the job. Oh, my gosh. His daughter was targeted, groomed, and ultimately raped by this guy, the grooming situation. and he did what had to be done. Now, his issues aren't over, his legal issues. He's awaiting a murder trial, yet he got 53% of the vote. That's really something. Well, if you can't kill somebody over that, what can you kill somebody over? I mean, I don't like killing people, but that sounds to me like justifiable homicide. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, it's not something you see every day. A ship getting blown out of the water. A torpedo hit a great big Iranian battleship, the Soleimani. You don't see that every day. Who saw the movie Titanic? I just had a weird deja vu moment. That's what Kathy Bates says when the ship is about to go underwater. You don't see that every day. And you don't. Look, they've got no Navy anymore. We're in control. I think this thing is going to be wrapped up pretty soon. And folks, there are reasonable people in Iran, okay? They're not all fanatics. There are a lot of regular, normal people who just want to have cool lives and don't want to be, all wrapped up in this fanaticism. And we're going to find those people, and I think they're going to get rid of the nukes, get rid of the ballistics, and be a nice neighbor, not exporting terrorism all over the place. All right, let's put that aside, all of it aside, because I don't want to bring our next guest into a political conversation. Who knows what her politics are? But I have a feeling she is super duper smart when it comes to money and Bitcoin and all that stuff. Her name is Brittany Kaiser. She is the CEO of Alphaton Global, which sounds very impressive. Welcome. How are you?
I am so well. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're the boss.
I am indeed.
How many people work for you?
Right now, about 35.
That's significant. What does Alphaton do?
Alphaton Capital, NASDAQ Aton, is a NASDAQ-listed technology company that invests in privacy technologies. So that includes Web3 tech, like blockchain technology. It also includes privacy apps and confidential computing.
Excellent. And something tells me there's a Bitcoin angle, because Bitcoin is kind of like private money in a way, right?
It absolutely is. It's a way for you to be able to send peer-to-peer transactions where I can send money to you without having to talk to a bank or a third-party application about it, and I can actually own my assets. So it's it has a lot of libertarian values wrapped up in it, where, I can have my own property rights. If it's mine, it's actually mine, and no one else owns it but me.
So, like, if it's money from the government, if it's like $100 bill, like, it's kind of mine, not really? Is that it?
Well, the $100 bill is yours because you can physically possess it. But if it says 100 in your bank account, that's just a number on a database. That money is not actually yours, and it's not actually in the bank.
That is wild. And actually, it blows my mind. I have thought about that. So when, initially I was kind of skeptical about Bitcoin, but then again, I mean, the bank, we're kind of doing the same thing, right? It's a little bit I don't know. It's dots and zeros and ones.
It is. Well, the thing about Bitcoin is that it is an encrypted block of ones and zeros, but those ones and zeros are historic transactions of all of the transactions that have ever been made on the Bitcoin blockchain. What that means is that it's an actual record, like a database of everything that's ever happened in that financial system. Therefore, the transparency and auditability and tracking and traceability that banks don't have is capable on Bitcoin.
All right. Now I'm going through some data I have on you, and they say you blew the whistle on one of the biggest data scandals in history. This was the subject of a Netflix documentary. I'm glad you're okay and in one piece. I mean, this can be, what happened?
So I was a director of global business development for Cambridge Analytica. We were working with Facebook on doing data-driven elections all around the world, not just here in the United States. So I would normally set up data centers and data analytics programs and run presidential campaigns, prime ministerial campaigns, and even just data-driven marketing and advertising campaigns for companies.
This was what year? 16, 20, both?
So I worked there from 2014 until 2018.
And Cambridge Analytica. And what was your title?
I was Global Director of Business Development.
Damn, this is all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're working there. Everything's great. What did you see that wasn't so great?
What I saw was that there were some clients around the world that were getting access to data and using it in ways that they shouldn't have, or even our company was getting access to data that we shouldn't have had access to, that Facebook was readily selling to us. So I've spent most of the past 8 years suing Facebook and helping government investigators regulate big tech companies. And so I've sat on multiple U.S. congressional committees on blockchain, fintech, and digital innovation, and help put a lot of definitions into our data rights, the way that we protect our individual rights and our property rights when we use tech, how we protect our kids when they're using some of these products, and in general, helping build privacy technologies. So if people want to use AI safely, for instance, without it taking all of your IP, copyright, and personal information, that soon you'll be able to do that, because it's nearly impossible today.
Yeah. So right now, when I ask it personal questions, and I do, because it can be very helpful that way.
For sure.
People know that. Somebody knows that.
Oh, not just somebody. It's definitely the owner of the product that you're using and everyone that works in that company. But sometimes millions of databases around the world end up with access to that information.
Now, is it okay if it's all anonymous?
Well, nothing is really anonymous when it has that much personal data. What we call that is pseudonymous. It means that if enough data points are collected together, you can tell who it is.
Can I go back to 2016 to 2018 or 2014 to 2018?
Yeah, of course.
Cambridge Analytica. Now, my sense in 2016, Facebook came under a lot of scrutiny after the election because they were angry at Facebook because the Donald Trump campaign used Facebook so effectively. And that was one of the reasons why the left just went bananas on Facebook, and why Facebook kind of went bananas themselves. Is that roughly accurate?
Well, so let me bring it down to what the actual legal problem was, because it had nothing to do with the Trump campaign. The legal problem was that Facebook had given access to all of their users' data to people who shouldn't have had access to it, like Cambridge Analytica. So what the law says is that if you are an able-bodied adult, you cannot consent on behalf of another person to sharing their data. You can only share yours. But if you remember those Facebook quizzes, like, what Disney princess are you? What country should you really live in? Do you remember those?
Vaguely.
It was like Candy Crush, Farmville, and then Facebook quizzes.
Right.
Most of the Facebook quizzes were designed by Cambridge Analytica or companies like us in order to get you to click yes to consent to us getting access to your data. But Facebook created a way for every single person that said, yes, you can take my data. We didn't just get your data. We got the data of everyone that was your friend on Facebook, even your kids, your grandparents, whatever it is. And that was the illegal issue.
And okay, and that's wrong. And you what'd you do? Call the cops? How'd you turn them in?
I actually did call the FBI on myself because I was a director at the company. And that's not something that most people ever do. I compiled a dossier of all of the documents that I had that showed our relationship with Facebook, what they had given us access to, what we were selling, what was being used. And I have since worked on 27 different government investigations, over 50 different lawsuits. We've won all of them against, Facebook, Instagram, Meta. And since then, a lot of laws have changed. A lot of regulations have changed. But with the advent of AI, the problems have gotten even worse than back then.
The perfect person kind of to be in the middle of this AI thing.
And that's why I work on AI and ethics, regulation of AI, privacy tech, that even if the government never figures out how to regulate AI, if you can use privacy technologies with AI, then you can at least protect yourself.
One more thing on 2016, and then we'll talk about Telegram and some other stuff. Brad Parscale, do you remember that guy?
Oh, yes, definitely.
So,
for sure.
I never met Brad, although I have communicated with him online. Very smart.
Very smart.
I think he is the guy. He's the reason why, because they used Facebook as it was presented. They used it effectively. And actually, maybe Cambridge Analytica, part of the collateral damage here. Look, if Hillary Clinton won that election, nobody really would have cared. But since President Trump won, they wanted to arrest everybody essentially. And who the hell?
Yeah.
Who, right? And
they made me testify to the Mueller investigation. I had, as I said, 27 different government investigations. And most of the time I had to explain to people, I was like, none of the campaigns did anything wrong, but Facebook gave access to data that we shouldn't have had And therefore, that data was used inappropriately because we weren't supposed to have it in the first place.
Yeah.
And so if the campaigns used it for particular purposes, so did the Obama campaign. The DNC was doing the same things as the RNC. This wasn't a Trump campaign issue in the end.
I understand.
This was a data rights issue and what people had access to and how people were using it. And that became the hardest thing to describe to people because talking about data and ones and zeros sometimes is a little bit superfluous.
Especially members of Congress. I mean, they're dingbats, most of them. But there's a legacy of all of this, the Cambridge Analytica and this stuff, because tell me about this. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, they beat him about the face and breast, chest, neck, and head. And, for all the sins. So that's why he went wacko the other way, spent billions and billions and billions of dollars to basically correct the wrong he committed by allowing Trump people and others, but, for winning the election. That's what I think. Is that, that's kind of outside your area.
No, not at all. But I completely agree with you because, on the Obama campaign, they also used the Facebook Friends API, which was the notorious way that everybody got access to all the data. They used that on the Obama campaign too. And none of the Republicans freaked out about it. It was fine. And then all of a sudden the Trump campaign uses the exact same tool, or at least Cambridge Analytica used the exact same tool and then provided it to some of our clients like the Trump campaign. And all of a sudden everybody goes completely bananas. So in the end, I tried to settle everyone back down to earth and say the main problem is we don't have federal data rights in this country. So until we have federal privacy law where we can say there's black and white rules on what people can do, we're mostly talking about unethical things, not illegal things. The only illegal thing happened with Facebook, unfortunately.
That's so interesting. Wow. All right. So Alphaton. Now, how can I help? What can we talk about right now that helps the bottom line? And actually, Telegram is staring me in the face. I don't have Telegram. What's up with Telegram?
So 87 million Americans have Telegram on their phone, and over 1 billion people around the world use it nearly every day. Telegram is the only super app. It's the main competitor to Meta that is built for data protection and privacy and for blockchain technologies like Bitcoin to be used in the back end of it. So for me to be able to access 1 billion people in a way that is privacy preserving is very exciting. Telegram even has an app store just like iOS and Android do, and it's permissionless and doesn't take any of your revenue. So think about all of the companies around the world that would love, instead of iOS or the Google Play Store, taking 15 to 30% of their revenues, actually launching an app to 1 billion people. You can do that on Telegram. So our company has been investing in the Telegram ecosystem, launching privacy-centric technologies in the Telegram ecosystem, and really helping Telegram, even more than it already is, be the main competitor to Meta.
Damn. You are smart. You're super duper smart. Where'd you go to college?
I went to the University of Edinburgh and University of London. But before that, I was at Phillips Academy, Andover.
Ooh, prep school.
Yes.
But you got a big cowboy hat. I'm trying to peg you. You're a little bit all over the place.
I was born in Houston. So.
All right.
I've got some good cowboy boots on, too.
Totally. You're either a billionaire or you're about to be. I think things are very... is there a website we should go to or something like that?
Absolutely. alphatoncapital.com. We are now, I would say, the first NASDAQ-listed company that is focused on privacy-centric technologies. And the main thing that we're doing today, besides investing in the Telegram ecosystem, is making privacy tech accessible and affordable to people.
Oh, do you mind? I got to ask you about Signal. Can you weigh in on that?
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Signalgate. Was it invented by the CIA?
Not that I know of. But otherwise, it would probably have more users.
It's well, there's something up. All right. Do me a favor. Brittany Kaiser, she is the CEO of Alphaton. And does anybody ever call it Alphatron? They better not. It's
not yet. Maybe you started a trend.
No, Alphaton. Why Alphaton? What does that mean?
So alpha generally means that you have new and exciting information on something big that's about to happen. And Ton is actually the blockchain or cryptocurrency that is in the back end of Telegram. And so we launched as Alphaton Capital because we are investing in the architecture that is not just a part of Telegram, but is a part of global privacy tech.
Damn. All right. Stay with us, okay? We'll be right back with the CEO of AlphaTon, Brittany Kaiser. Thank you.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
True. Brittany Kaiser is back with us. She is the CEO of AlphaTon. What does your logo look like? Where is it? Is it around here? Do you got a cool logo?
It looks like a little rocket ship.
Very cool. Who's the most famous person you've met in tech?
Oh, that is a good question. I've met most big tech leaders around the world, but I think one of the most impressive is Pavel Durov, the founder, inventor, and CEO of Telegram. He actually invented encrypted messaging, and he invented exploding messages.
Exploding messages. I've only seen that on an app called Confide, and to me, it literally explodes.
Yeah, what it means is that data is no longer on any databases. It ceases to exist. And so that was invented when Pavel and his colleagues and friends were giving the app to protesters to stop the government from being able to track and trace people who were protesting. And so it allows you to not just have privacy communications, but to make sure that the company that owns that app doesn't have that data on the database. So it's kind of the gold standard in privacy tech. And then WhatsApp copied it, and then Signal copied it, and now there's a lot of other encrypted apps and also apps that have exploding messages.
How likely is this scenario where everybody, someday it's going to happen, where everybody can look at everybody's private text messages? Like there will be a massive hack and everything that we think is private is suddenly public on a massive scale.
So you're talking about Q-Day when the first big quantum attack comes.
Is that what they talk? That's what
yes.
Really?
That means that the types of encryption technologies that are being sunset by our government over the next 10 years, but are being sunset by big companies, especially the ones based in New York, over the next 2 to 3 years. Because if a good quantum computer actually decides to do what a quantum computer can, it will go and be able to break a lot of the more basic encryption technologies that people are using on a daily basis. And then all of a sudden, all of this data is public. So that's what you're referring to. And it's definitely at top of the list for government companies, asset managers around the world to figure out what to do about it.
Damn. Yikes. You're one of these people who runs the world. You really are. I can tell. What are some basic techniques, tips, 2 or 3 things we can do to shield our privacy, and how much of our stuff is really out there? I mean, right now, it's all out there.
I would say that privacy is more of a legal right and a concept than a reality today, because most of your data is in millions of databases all around the world. You don't have the ability to delete it or get it back. Which is why I've spent most of the past decade working on privacy technologies and encryption technologies that can hope that sometime over the next couple of years, these technologies that protect you and allow you to own and possess your data just for yourself and only share what you chose to share are actually accessible, affordable, democratically available. Because today that's just not the case. Every time you touch one of your devices, you're giving away absolutely everything.
Oh, boy. What does that necklace of yours say?
It says, own your data. It's actually made on my Cambridge Analytica motherboard from my work laptop.
Wow. Wow. Damn. All right. Now, you mentioned you won all these lawsuits. Do they come with like major monetary settlements?
So they would if I would have applied for whistleblower rewards. I never did. I didn't want anyone to think that I was whistleblowing on my company, where I really felt I was nearly a co-founder there. I helped, build Cambridge Analytica, and it was a highly emotional thing to decide to whistleblow against my colleagues, right? I didn't do it for money, and so I never applied for any whistleblowing rewards. But now we see our current government, everyone from our president to Scott Bessent, even Elon Musk, are now encouraging whistleblowers by implementing the ability for whistleblowers to get 15 to 30% of what they win in lawsuits against the fraudsters, which is a huge opportunity. Elon has even offered to pay for whistleblowers' lawyers if they come with evidence of fraud, waste, and abuse.
And it would be nice if the whistleblowers came before the train crash, right? I mean, I think that's what the whistle was all about.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what they're encouraging now, which this is the first government administration that has ever encouraged people to report these things. I think, as a former whistleblower myself, I think that says so much about the integrity of our current administration. It's actually incredible. It's very exciting for me. It was just yesterday I was on Capitol Hill and we launched a product called Vera Report. Vera Report is a privacy technology for whistleblowers to report to government agencies fraud, waste, and abuse in a safe, anonymous way. They can track and trace that data has been received by the government agency, that a case is being opened, that it's being reviewed, and if they're eligible for a reward, they can decide to KYC, share their identity, and get the reward.
All right. Brittany Kaiser, you got it all going on. The CEO of Alphaton. To be continued, and thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here? Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.